5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
They've landed. You're in the right place. Online, on the web, and on air. All over the world.
Talk radio.
You hear us, we hear you.
Yeah, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you can see us. There should have been some writing on the wall when that started.
There was.
Steve frightened the life out of himself, so hopefully you could still hear it as well as seeing what was written. Okay. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this week's edition of the KTPF Community Talk Show. Tonight on the show, around about 9 o'clock, we're going to be talking to a young lady from America in the West Hollywood region of California, of no other place. And she is a celebrity numerologist. Her name is Michelle Arbeau, and I hope that's how you pronounce it. And so if you want to find out what number you are in numerology and what it's all about, then this is the lady to talk to. So please tune in or stay with us rather, and find out what's going on. So how are you all this evening? We've got quite a few people in the chat room at the moment. Ghost Rider and Andy 707. Some people are watching, but they're not in the chat room.
Yeah, and Andy wants to know how you got her. How you managed to get her.
How did I manage to get her? I asked her.
As usual.
I asked her. So, I'm not sure what the delay is at the moment. Let's just check. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 minutes, 4 second delay. So that's not too bad.
Not too bad.
So, if you're freezing, Mr. Ghost Rider, it could possibly be you because you were freezing on your Skype earlier. So, so basically,
yeah, we all make 5. You said
we all make 5. No, actually, it says there's 5 viewers, and I've noticed that there have actually been more people on viewing than there has been in the actual chat room.
Yeah.
So, so that's how it works apparently.
Yeah.
So, okay. So basically, because if you think about it, there's only 3 of you in the chat room. So hopefully we did last week. We got a few more extra by 9 o'clock, didn't we?
we did indeed.
So so it wasn't too bad. Well, we've had a bit of a quiet week apart from the weather, and I just want to say, if you're out there in this weather, please be careful because apparently it's going to get worse before it gets better. Snow's coming.
Yeah, it's supposed to be showing the old snow tonight. The Pennines are meant to be getting a dusting.
There you go, John. I suspect a friend of mine is tuning in, but not in chat. Yeah, probably. That's what I mean. There is quite a few.
No.
there is quite a few people that actually view. Hopefully they're listening, so they can hear what's going on instead of just watching.
I think we actually get more people tuning in on the YouTube than we do on the live show.
Yeah, I think they come in on the late arrival, so on the radio replay. So, but
which is good, makes it worthwhile doing.
Yes, this is. Now, if you are part of the Trifield Paranormal, we are thinking of dropping that site. We're still working on that yet, and updating all the paranormal events and site and the KTPF. So that will be coming in the next few weeks, hopefully.
Yes. So if there's anything on there that you've put on that you want to keep, go get it.
Yes.
Before the site goes down. It won't go down before
May. I've got a lot to work to do on it. So
so they've got until May to get to get what they've posted up.
Yeah. The thing is, to be honest with you, we've got to work out something because it's the main network. We might not be able to get rid of it, but we'll have to see what we're going to do with that. So Vinny's on the case on that one. So speak, Steve.
Why are you guzzling away there on your Coke?
Right, so as I say, we've got Michelle coming on tonight. And just to let you know, you early birds, next week we've got the Mars Codex, talking about that.
Oh, yes.
And later after that,
Mr. Barry John.
we're talking to Barry John. So that's what's coming on next week. And the week after, we have medium Ryan Gooding back on the show. And he's promised to do some readings. So
Hi,
that's not
Debs.
too bad.
Deb's
Good
just
evening,
joined us.
Debbie. How are you? And your better half, other half, whatever you'd like to call him, Lee.
Mr. Lee.
Mr. Lee. So anyway.
Oh,
goody,
Mr. Lee.
And he's back on form. And sometime during February or March, we will be having Andy Mercer back on talking about whatever he wants to talk about.
Some absolute total nonsense.
Yeah. And talking about total nonsense, what has been on the observations?
Yeah, I've got some of that for you. Okay, are you ready? Police officers dispatched for paranormal calls share their stories. A popular thread on Reddit is getting lots of traffic this month. Someone posted a question titled, "Police officers on Reddit, have you ever been called for a paranormal reason?" The thread has numerous witness accounts of paranormal from cops who shared their stories, and this is just one of them. I had a call to a residence for a mental evaluation, or 5150. Anyways, I get there and speak to the 50-something-year-old woman who states her 20-something-year-old son is under the influence of an unknown drug and kept repeating that he can see in his bedroom. I beg your pardon. He can't go into his bedroom because there's an old man hanging in his room. He stated that he was too scared to go in his room and investigate for herself because he constantly brings over friends that are drug addicts and are unsure if his claims were true or not. One former police officer said, "I then go and speak to the son, who is clearly under the influence of a stimulant. He goes on to tell me that he was told by a spirit not to enter the bedroom because her father, dressed in his military Class A uniform, was hanging in his bedroom. I checked the bedroom out, and of course there was nobody hanging in the room. As I'm in the middle of explaining to the mother there was nobody in the bedroom, a veteran officer arrives on the scene and assists me. He pulls me aside and stated earlier in his career he responded to this residence and at the same bedroom he had investigated a suicide by hanging of an older male subject. He didn't remember all the details, so I looked up on our report management system in my patrol car. And sure enough, the officer was correct. The subject who died was a World War II veteran who had dressed in his military uniform and hung himself," he continues. How's that spooky? And that's just one of the stories you can find on there. I don't know what Reddit is personally, but
I think it's just a website.
It's just
there are quite a few people having problems. It could be down to the atmospherics in the area. We are still okay. We're not frozen or anything this end. Just to let you know that if you do ever have any problems, please refresh. And if we do end up losing you because of live stream, we will come back straight away after we've refreshed. But until then, please bear with us.
Okay. After the Moscow region officials formally denied the existence of Chupacabra.
Oh, yeah.
It's official. At least one corner of Russia is free from fairy tale creatures. The legendary monster Chupacabra, was blamed for recent inexplicable deaths of 60 sheep in a remote corner of the Moscow region. But the region's agricultural minister formally denied that Chupacabra could have been involved. So Chupacabra is not guilty on this occasion. Here we go. A suitcase handed into police station contained a goblin.
A goblin?
A goblin.
Oh, yeah?
A family turned up at their local nick in the town of Bulawayo with a suitcase a recent tenant had left behind. The case was opened and, well, all hell broke loose. According to Bulawayo 24 News, a goblin-like creature leapt out, causing mayhem. Police officers, dumbstruck by what they were seeing, fled, some literally jumping out the windows. Such panic. The goblin, well, we'll call it because the police report said so, apparently climbed out of a blood-filled bottle. Witnessed in the southern African state said it smelled awful and ran amok, charging at cops until a local healer was brought in to catch it.
I see.
One unnamed cop told the news channel, "We heard something screaming from the charge office, and most officers who had knocked off rushed in to see what was happening. At first, everyone gathered around the suitcase wanting to see what was inside. No one told anyone it was time to run. One minute the charge officer was full, the next it was empty. I think some people went out through the windows because we could not all have fitted through the door. Fat cops, slim cops, all ran for their lives screaming. A family handing in the case said it had been left behind by a recent tenant who had stayed at their house. Witness at, here we go, Tishabalala police station gave varying descriptions of the bizarre encounter. Some said the creature looked like a snake with a head of a dog, while others said it looked like a dog with scales.
Okay.
The healer brought in to deal with it said to have overpowered the critter and burnt it.
I see.
Okay.
Going back to your chupacabra story, yes, she did spell it right, thank you, Debs. And she said, I thought it was South America.
It seems to be everywhere. It is mainly South America. Well,
Yeah.
I must admit. Investigation at a Clayton residence yields several disembodied voices.
Are we talking not in this Clayton?
No, not in England. We're talking about in the US.
Okay.
Many people mistake what could be paranormal activity for their own active imagination. Jersey Unique Minds Paranormal Society was contacted recently by a Clayton resident who wanted help determining whether she was losing her mind.
Okay.
It's an old house built in the early 1900s, said Jumps, otherwise known as Jersey Unique Mind Paranormal. CEO Doug Holgate Jr. It's a huge house divided into 3 units, but she's the only one living there right now. She maintains the entire house. Hogarth said the house had been in the woman's family for decades, and it was even built and the property farmed by her ancestors. She lived there for a while, even when other people lived in the building, but never heard from anyone else about the strange activity. One day while our grandson was visiting, he asked her about a man he saw standing on the other side of the doorway. She was in shock that he had obviously seen something, but the boy went about on his merry way, Hogarth said. Later, the resident reported hearing conversation between 2 people just outside her bedroom door, which was in close proximity to where their grandson had mentioned seeing the man. She said it sounded like that they said, "What did you do that for? Now they know we're here," Hogarth said. So after years of having strange experiences, she decided to call in some investigators. She basically called us in to help her determine if what she was experiencing was real or not, Hogarth said. Jumps investigated bugged the house with 12 infrared cameras, audio recorders, K2 meters, and a REM pod to measure fluctuations in the electromagnetic field.
The REM pod.
We were there from 8 p.m. to 4:30 a.m., so it was a very long investigation, Hogarth said. We had reports of investigators hearing things in other rooms on the 3rd floor, including a conversation that sounded like a male and female voices. We recorded about 20 EVPs. Some were loud, but others were light. Hogarth said most of the activity was captured after 2 a.m., which he said coincides with her reports of hearing voices and footsteps in the middle of the night.
Well, they're talking on here about the fact that it's probably an escape bear, bigger version than an Ewok. So I'll be honest with you. And
are we talking about the
JW said, I think it was a homeless George from Rainbow. Mind you, saying that, they do say, or there is an urban legend that all the toys come to life in the toy cupboard. So you never know.
Are we talking about the Chupacabra again then? Because we're definitely not talking about this one. Based on what we have already, I think we can help her out and back up her claim of activity. Okay. I got some more long words again.
Okay.
My Puma family believes mermaid took missing boy.
Mermaid?
Mermaid.
Oh, I like mermaids.
Police divers have yet to find the body of a 12-year-old boy who went missing in a tributary of the Cerba River in Mpumalanga on the 31st of December. Siyabonga Masango's family believes that a mermaid had taken him but released him in time for school on Wednesday.
Oh, that was good of him.
That was nice of him, wasn't it?
Yeah.
After they performed some rituals. When I saw his friends going to school this morning, I felt as if my son was here and would be joining them, Siyabonga's mother Leah said, according to a SAPA correspondent. I still believe my son is alive, and I'm praying that God will help us get answers. Praying and following rituals will help us, and we will not give up, she said. Lisbeth Nualangu, 43, Siyabonga's aunt, wants the police dog unit to join the search. Mpumalanga Inland Water Policing and Diving Services Coordinator, police spokesman Potigata, said another search will be held on Thursday. We have not found him yet. We will continue searching for him. The last time we searched was yesterday, Tuesday, and we will continue tomorrow because we're busy with another case today.
Oh, fair enough. Probably not got enough manpower.
Yeah, probably not, but there's some strange names there.
I know.
Here's a nice one.
Go on then.
Heart transplant patient falls in love at first sight with the sister of the man whose heart now beats in his body.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Minneapolis resident Connor Rabowitz suffered a congenital heart condition and desperately needed a transplant when he was 17. He received the donated heart of Kellen Roberts, who died after a tragic drunken argument. 1 year after his transplant, Connor sent a thank you note to Roberts' family and then met Kellen, sister Erin. The two fell in love at first sight. Looking to get a donor, Kellen Roberts, after his health collapsed because of genetic heart condition, Roberts was bowled over when he first met Erin, just over a year after his transplant. Although he was 17 at the time and she was 26, they first met in 2004. The electric chemistry between the pair persisted until they got together in 2010. We're both feeling that deceased Kellen helped them become lovers. We had an instant connection. We both feel that Kellen brought us together, Connor said to the UK's Daily Mirror.
Oh, right.
Isn't that nice?
That's nice.
And here's a little something I found on somebody put on Facebook. So do you believe in dreams that may come true? Sugar Ray Robinson, probably the best pound for pound fighter there has ever been, once backed out of a fight because he had a dream he would kill his opponent. But after being convinced to fight, he went into the ring and killed his opponent. The man he fought had plans to buy his mother a house. After Robinson killed him, he spent the winnings of his next 4 fights to buy her house.
Oh, that was nice.
They shouldn't,
Not nice.
they shouldn't have convinced him to go in there.
No. So, I don't know. Well, they were good.
Who is pound for pound the best fighter? That would be Sugar Ray Robinson.
Sugar Ray Robinson. Don't know how far he goes back, though.
Robinson, 50s, I think.
Oh, thank you for the observations there, Steve. And you can reread them on our forum in the Paranormal News and Observations within the forum. And
you were welcome. I shall post them.
Amongst other things in the forum. So please go and have a look. So, no, who is Ghosty talking about? Ghosty talking about? Oh, he said it was probably from Norfolk. Didn't actually say the one previous in that sister thing. That wasn't from Norfolk, was it?
He said Devil Hannah was lovely. Was a lovely mermaid.
Yeah, but I think it was on about that mirror one. That wasn't in Norfolk, was it?
The mirror one. Yeah,
about the heart falling in love and all that lot.
No.
So.
No, that wasn't.
Anyway,
it doesn't actually say where it was, but it was the fact that it was reported in the UK's Daily Mirror. I assume it was from America.
Right. Okay.
Otherwise, it would just say the
I'm going to have to
Daily
ask
Mirror.
you to get me some water in a minute because that's made my throat dry.
I can do that now because I've finished my little bit, so it's over to you.
Right. So, what are you like with TV programs, and are you waiting for one to come back? 2 seconds. Because we've been waiting for quite some time. And let me tell you that on the 5th of February, one of our favourite programmes are coming back. Is it one of yours? Yeah, Grimm's coming back at last. So season 3 in the UK, and they say it's back for a brand new series, but this time Grimm just got grimmer. Season 3 premieres on Wednesday the 5th at 9 p.m. on Watch. So I'll be looking forward to that. Plus me Bones is back and other things are coming back, so I'm quite happy about that. Trouble is, like I said to you, Steve, they're all coming back at the same time. They've not spread them out over the year, which means when they run out, I've got a whole year to wait for them to come back. Greys have just come back and God knows what else. You got bored with Grimm, did you, Andy?
It also means they're probably going to clash.
Yeah, this is it. That's the problem. So, but yeah, I do like it, I must admit. So I know it gets too much of a muchness, but I do like it. But see how it. The trouble is, you get bored with something, but you don't want to stop watching it in case it gets better or something. It's like recently. Did any of you watch that The Witches of East End? I thought that was fantastic. It reminded me a bit of a version of Charmed, I must admit, like the 2014 version. But it wasn't a bad series. Yeah. So you know, but. Reiki Debs liked it.
Yeah, she did. And
Andy said it's better than Charmed.
And The Coven, she said. I haven't seen The Coven.
I like The Coven. Is that a series, The Coven?
Yes.
I've seen the film, so I'm sure I've seen the film The Coven. But,
yeah.
Anyway, Grimm is back in February.
Yeah, she said The Coven is darker.
Darker. So I'll have to have a look at that. So Grimm's too much like Buffy, Andy said. Everyone seemed to like Buffy. Mind you, had Angel as well. I never watched that.
I think everybody liked Michelle Geller.
Mind you, I wasn't. Also like Sleepy Hollow. Yeah, we're waiting for that to come back as well, aren't we, Steve?
We are, yes.
And well, you've also been seeing trailers of late for the new film I, Frankenstein. So that's coming to the cinema soon, isn't it, Steve?
I, Frankenstein is due out later this month.
Yeah. So. Watch out for that if you're into that sort of thing. As I say, we've got Michelle coming on around about 9 o'clock. And so if you was ever interested in numerology, if you want to know what your name number is and what your life number is and what it's all about and where numbers come into it, then this is a show for you, because she's going to explain to us exactly what's going on and where numbers have been irrelevant in certain things, because she's talked also about 911 and stuff like that. So where the numbers have been quite relevant. They say by simply calculating the numbers relating to your birth date and name, it is considered that one can find out very important facts about life. So we're going to find out more about that and how it affects the journey through our life as well. So that's what's coming up next. Now, if you're new to the show, we just want to let you know that we're a little voice trying to promote keeping the paranormal friendly by sharing and talking about various topics, encouraging our guests and listeners to share information, advice, and most importantly, friendship. We are a relaxed show with no pressure, which we do record for listen again purposes on our YouTube channel too. And just to let you know also that we do cover all sorts of subjects, including not just the paranormal, but ufology and cryptozoology, other strange phenomena, as well as conspiracy theories. So if you're interested in coming on the show and talking to us about what you do or what you don't do or what you're into, then why don't you just contact us at admin.co.uk. Also, if you're a paranormal group, come on and tell us about yourself. Tell us what you're up to and what events you've got going on. And if you want to, you can also advertise for free on paranormaleventsview.com. So that's basically what we're all about. It's all about keeping the paranormal friendly, and that's what we are on the KTPF Community Talk Show and Paranormal Community. Anyway, I'm going to play this advert, and soon afterwards we will be getting our first guest on. Well, our only guest this evening, I must admit. It's a short show tonight.
The Paranormal Intelligence Gathering Services Ghost Store is a one-stop shop for all of your ghost hunting gadgetry needs. Run by ghost hunters for ghost hunters, the shop is filled with all of the latest in investigation equipment, shipped in from all around the world, from high-quality digital dictaphones to EMF pumps. infrared illuminators to laser grid pens, CCTV equipment to data loggers. All of our equipment has already been imported, so you can buy it safe in the knowledge that there will be no hidden costs. And with our postage promise, you'll never pay more than the actual postage price. So visit www.the-pigs.co.uk/ghost store.
Yeah, that's the pigs down there in East Sussex. If you fancy anything from the ghost store, why don't you contact them or just have a look at their website. They've got quite a few gadgets that they import in, and as they say, they do it so you don't have to get the import cost. So they sort it out themselves. And if you didn't know, I actually got a recognition for, or rather we got a recognition for the paranormal biggest contribution for paranormal unity. Got a certificate for 2013. They had a award ceremony sort of thing for paranormal stuff on their website, and you can go on there and see who else has won as well. So Reiki Dev said it's funny, she was reading about it this week, then I picked up a magazine and it was in there, then I clicked to see what was on the show tonight, and she was on Synchronicity. She was on Synchronicity. She said she was reading about it during the week, so and it says, you guys know I'm very into the occult, but really not sure about numerology. Well, we'll see what's going on. Now, don't forget, you can ring us tonight on 0844 414 3982, or you can pitch your questions into the live chat. So please sort out your questions. If you've got anything for Michelle, I'm sure she will answer them for you. Okay, and just to let you know, I've been Googling a bit, and it's supposed to be the art of understanding numbers and patterns and their effect in our journey through life. It is considered that one can find out very important facts about life, love compatibility, future predictions, auspicious days, personality features by just calculating the numbers related to your birth date and name. According to the principles of this practice, numbers play a great role in someone's life. Nobody seems to know the origin of the numerology, but Egypt and Babylon are considered the ancient regions where it was developed. This mystic art dates back to thousands of years ago, and it was studied in many occult countries which were famous for their culture and scientific discoveries in China, Japan, India, Greece and Rome. We're going to find out a little bit more about it, and I'm going to contact Michelle, and hopefully she's ready for us, and she's going to tell us a bit more about what's going on. I'm hoping that the signal's okay, because we haven't really had a chance to check the connection. But she's not new to all this. She does her own shows as well, so we'll find out a little bit more about that as well. So if you just bear with me, I'm just seeing whether she's ready for us. And as I say, we'll find out what's going on. Right, let's give her a call. See if she'll answer. Hello.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
How are you?
Okay, great.
Good. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to Michelle, and she's here to talk about numerology, as we said. And as I say, I hope the connection's fine. Good evening, Michelle. Now,
Thank you.
Can you tell us what a celebrity numerologist is?
Absolutely. So a celebrity numerologist is really no different from any other numerologist. It's just when I first got into numerology, I ended up calling myself an intuitive numerologist. And that really, for me, I just had more questions that I had to explain to people than I wanted to do, because everyone thought, oh, you're a psychic. And so for me, that was just, it didn't fit with who I was. And I was always about practical spirituality. So for me to talk about being psychic or being intuitive, even though I do that with my work. It was just something that I didn't feel comfortable with explaining all the time. So I ended up working with some celebrity clients who, for me, the celebrity clientele was something that I didn't anticipate being a good bulk of my work. But because the celebrity voice is so broad and far-reaching, to me that was one of the ways that I could reach a lot of people, by I guess working with these celebrities and showing people how their lives were changed through numerology and how revealing their truth through the numbers was able to affect so many other people.
Now, of all the different things you could have chosen, i.e. tarot and everything, why numerology?
Oh, well, I started dreaming in numbers every night about 11 years ago. So every night for about 3 months, I would see numbers on doors, license plates, everywhere in my dreams. And so I had no idea what it meant at the time because I didn't know what numerology was or what numbers were. But I wrote the numbers down, and after about 3 months I said, okay, this is enough. I really need to figure out what these numbers mean and what they mean to me. And I stumbled across numerology, and they were answers to everything that was going on in my life at the time. So they were, to me, divinely inspired messages from somewhere else. And so I fell in love with the numbers, and I fell in love with numerology. And in hindsight, I realized that that was my gift and that was my calling, because I had always had a photographic memory for numbers. And someone would say their name to me, and I'd never remember their name, but I would always remember some sort of number, whether it be their phone number or something that was associated with them. So it was the numbers that was really key for me.
Now, some people don't know the actual origin of numerology. Have you found out at all?
Pardon? I didn't catch that.
Nobody's ever found out the origin of numerology.
Yes.
Have you found out?
For me, I think numbers are like the language of the universe, and it's more about quantum physics than it is about spirituality or metaphysics. And I don't know that they may ever find the origins of numerology, because I think that numerology is more about number patterns than it is, like I said, about the science of numerology. So when I look at numbers and when I look at number patterns, to me, I'm seeing the fabric of the universe. I'm seeing the, if you could pull back the fabric of time, to me, it would be like digital code. And, when we look at our date of birth, it's like spiritual DNA, and it can really show us who we are, what we're here to do, and how to do it.
Right, okay. The next question, we're getting a bit of a feedback for some reason, I don't know why. So what exactly is numerology all about, Michelle?
Well, like I say, numerology to me is more about number patterns and recognizing energy patterns. So whether you're working with numerology or whether you're working with astrology, it's just another way to see the truth and see the patterns that make up everything in existence. So for me, numerology and numbers they're entities to me. They are, I see them at a deeper level. I see them as being these building blocks that make up our world. So each number has a frequency, and every pattern in existence is created with the number 1 to 9. And if you think about numbers in general, every number in existence is created with the numbers 1 to 9, also 0. 0 is more of a symbol than a number, but that really is the basis of all patterns and all numerical frequencies. So that's, to me, I don't really go by the mainstream definition of numerology, because it's a little bit too metaphysical for me. To me, they're number patterns, and they're entities that represent energetic patterns or wavelengths.
Right, I'm going to put my mic off. Sorry, my camera off in case it makes it a bit more better. Okay. Hopefully you can still hear me.
I can hear you just fine. Yeah.
Good. Right. Okay. Now you're a big believer in loving and being true to yourself. How did you get to this place?
The authenticity part? Okay, so
Yeah.
So the authenticity for me was about 2.5 years ago, I had what I like to call a spiritual crisis. So I really came to this place in my life where, I was successful and I was at the time doing well with the numerology and I had a lot of clients and, it was great, but I was living someone else's vision of who I thought I was supposed to be. And I was always looking outside myself for the answers. I was always looking to the next person that would tell me the next steps or the next thing that I should do or the next thing that I should concentrate on. And, looking back, I realized being a pure three, I was very much the people pleaser, which is over at the pure three. And, it's really one of those life paths that deals with self-doubt and self-criticism. So it was a really pivotal moment in time for me where I really started to overcome some of the challenges of being a pure three and having that self-doubt and self-criticism and starting to go with not the intellectual stuff and trying to think my way through things. I started to go with how I felt. And that really was brought about by that spiritual crisis where I just couldn't live someone else's vision of myself anymore. I had to be true to what I felt I was inside. And so at that time, about 2.5 years ago, well, it's almost 3 now, I sold everything. I sold my house. I sold pretty much all of my personal possessions. I had literally a 5x8 trailer with some clothes, some pictures, the things that I didn't want to discard completely, but in essence, I had discarded pretty much everything of physical nature. And I went across Canada from the East Coast. I was just above Maine, the state of Maine in New Brunswick, which is the province in Canada just above that state. And I went from the far east all the way to the far west to Calgary, Alberta, which is just above Montana. And I stopped there only because I had a friend there, and I said, maybe we should stop here for a little bit and get our bearings. And so it was really a beautiful time in my life because I had literally stripped myself of all my titles. I was nothing and no one when I arrived in Calgary. And within 2 weeks of arriving there, CTV, which is a major network in Canada, it would be the equivalent to Fox or something like that in the U.S., they called me out of the blue and they said, would you like to be a guest on our show? You're a numerologist and we have this topic we'd like you to discuss. And I couldn't believe it. I thought, how do they know, number one, that I'm here? And number two, how do they even know what I do? Because I'm not even, my website wasn't up, I was literally, like I say, nothing and no one at the time. And it just was synchronistic from that point forward. And I thought to myself, this is my chance to rebrand myself, to live in the image of truth that I wanted to be who I felt I was. So I picked up the numerology title again, but I didn't use intuitive numerologist. I used celebrity numerologist because at that time I had some celebrity clients and I had been back and forth to LA a few times and I was really feeling like that was who I was. And it's just been a snowball effect since that moment. From that media interview onward, I've had a snowball of media and more celebrity clients and just success all around. I have 2 books that I just released this fall that are in all the major bookstores. It's been easy now. It's really been one of those monumental moments in your life where you realize you're not needing to push the boulder up the hill. It's starting to roll down the other side, and that's the moment when you start living your truth. And for me, that was the pivotal moment.
Now, you say you've read for celebrities. Lady Gaga, Madonna.
She needs to turn the show. It's coming back.
Have you got the show on as well there?
I didn't catch that. Sorry.
Have you got our show on as well there?
Show. I do have a radio network.
Have you got our show coming back at you?
Oh, yes. Yes, I do, yes.
All right, that's probably what's causing the feedback if you're watching it on our website.
Maybe I don't have it. No, I just have Facebook. It was posted on Facebook. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Let's try that. Yes, right. I did have your website up. Is that what it is?
Yeah, that was probably what it was. Right, you say you've read for celebrities, obviously Lady Gaga, Madonna, Michael Jackson. What do they have in common? Because you've got something on your Facebook page about it?
I do, yes. And it's one of the phenomenon that I've really come across over the past while. Actually, the first time I encountered it, I was traveling with a friend, and I realized that she had double eights, and she's one of these fun people that I love to travel with, because those people with double eights, it's called the daredevil syndrome, because double eights really brings about an energy of living for the thrill of the experience. So if you think of, Madonna, Michael Jackson, Lady Gaga, Christina Aguilera, Rihanna, they all have that same thing in common, where you never know what they're going to do next. They're off the cuff. They give a heck of a performance, and they just they do live for the thrill of the experience. So it's again one of those situations where you're recognizing patterns, number patterns that are never wrong. If you think of all those people, and that's just a handful of people that I'm aware of that has this double eight energy. So like I said, it's just one of those patterns. I mean, there are many, many patterns that are the same thing. And there's another interesting phenomenon with this double eight. There's a girl here in Los Angeles who is 11, and she was diagnosed as having schizophrenia at a very young age. And she's been labeled as a genius. And she just knows things about people that she shouldn't necessarily know. And looking at her birth chart, she has nothing but soul plane energy. She has double twos and double eights, which is, again, that double eight daredevil syndrome energy. So she's really tapped into the divine and nothing else. She has nothing to do with her, no physical energy. So it's one of those phenomenons that usually when people have the double eights, they're carrying some sort of tremendous gift, because they are channelers. They do have a direct link to the divine, or whatever you want to call it, source energy, and they just are able to bring through such a tremendous amount of information. And if you think of all those people that we were talking about, all those celebrities that have the double eights, they are exceptional performers, and they're great at what they do. So it is a great energy, the double eights. I can't say enough about it. It's a really neat energy.
So how do you actually work this out then, Michelle?
The double eights?
Yeah. How do you actually work the numerology out? What number you are?
Oh, okay. So when you're looking at your life path number, you would take the sum of your date of birth. So each individual digit in your date of birth is added together to get a sum. And most numerology books will look at the reduced value or the base value. So when you add it up, then you would reduce. So let's say you got, 32 for a sum. And then 3 plus 2 is 5. So you would be a 5 energy. But what I like to do, and especially my book Soul Numbers, I go into the unreduced version of that energy. For example, using the 32.5. It's written as 32/5 because we want to look at the unreduced energy as well, because it shows you what kind of 5 you are. And I actually went into this the other day with someone who was a 23/5. And I said, this energy, the 32/5, Hitler was a 32/5. And the 23/5 is a vastly different energy. So you can be a 5 that can be a completely different 5 than someone else. So it's really essential, I think, to look at the unreduced value as well, and see what it is before it reduces to that base value.
Right, okay. And we've got a question in the chat room. John wants to know what happens if you change your name by deed poll, and then again if you marry, how would you work it out?
Well, names are different because names aren't really related to our life path number. Our life path number is more like our theme. So when we come into this world and we have our life path and our life purpose set in our lesson plan or our lesson book, that really is more about who we are on the inside and what our driving purpose is and what we want to accomplish in life. But our name is more like our mask or how the world sees us. So whether it be your professional name or your birth name, these mean different things. For example, our full birth name isn't something we use all the time, but it is like a stamp or a tattoo we're given at birth, energetically, and that represents our truest personality expression. So regardless of whether we put on different hats in different situations, we might be at work or with friends, and we'll wear a different hat, so to speak, or a different display of our personality. And our birth name is something that is always there. It's an underlying tone. But if you look at something like a married name or just your first and your last name, I call that the professional name. So if you were to hand someone a business card, or you were at work, or doing something of a professional nature where you're using your first and your last name, that is more of a frequency that affects your career and those kinds of things. So when you do get married, for example, I often see women who change their name and end up seeing a shift in their path. And of course, when you get married, there is a shift in your path to some degree, because most people will have children, or they'll build that house, or those kinds of things. So there is a shift, but oftentimes it does reflect what their purpose is going forward. For example, 11 years ago, I changed my last name, and I was very reluctant to do so because I had this very strong feeling as though I didn't want to lose my identity. I'd been a certain name for X number of years, and I just felt like it was changing my identity. And I didn't know the numbers at the time, but in hindsight, I recognize now that I needed this name change, professionally speaking, because my name now means the number 7, which is the truth seeker, the teaching and learning number. And that's precisely what I do when I do the numbers for someone, is that I'm revealing truth to them. I'm showing them who they truly are through the numbers. And so it really draws people to me professionally. And as a professional name, you want to have the right frequency, because you want to attract the right customers and the right clients into the work that you do. So it's very crucial, it's very essential to have the right professional name.
Okay. Reiki Debs is in the chat room. She would like to know, she said, I would like to know your take on seeing 1111 everywhere quite often, rather than most people saying angels are around you. What do you think?
Well, I have a friend, actually, Marie Jones, who wrote the book 1111, The Time Phenomenon. And it's a great book. It shows all of the different, theories behind 1111. And I'm just like the person in the chat room who sees that all the time. I don't know if you can see my tattoo. I got this last December, not this December, but the last one. And I see it everywhere as well. And it's something that has followed me for a long time. But for me, whenever I see it, it's usually an indication that whatever I'm focusing on, I'm going the right way. And that's the underlying feeling, or the underlying tone that I get when I see 1111, is that just intuitively, I feel as though it's a nod or a wink from the universe that says, yes, whatever you're doing right now, or whatever you're focusing on in your mind, that's the right thing for you. That's the right way. And that's just the intuitive feeling that I get with it. Numerologically speaking, 1 is the number of new beginnings. It's the trailblazer number. It is the energy that says, do it, go for it. And it really is a number that shows up a lot in the Mayan culture. And I think that they even have things that represent the 1111 throughout some of their hieroglyphics and the drawings and the things that they did in their work. And they were really ahead of their time in terms of numerology and numbers. And I think they knew a lot more about numerology than even Pythagoras. And, definitely this phenomenon has been going on for a long time, but it seems to be increasing. It seems to be a global thing now where people are seeing it every day, all the time. And it is somewhat of a wake-up code, I think, because if you add it together, it's a 4. And 4 energy to me is like the gateway number. If you think about human existence, we operate on 3 planes at any given time. We have the mind plane, which we're always thinking or analyzing. Then we have the emotional plane, we're feeling something, and then the bottom plane is the physical, which is the doing, the physical stuff. So the 4th dimension, to me, is like the awakened being, or the place where we are conscious of the fact that we are souls in human form, and that we're able to create consciously. And going back to that story about the little girl who has schizophrenia, she's definitely tuned in because she sees the number 4 everywhere. She has an imaginary friend named 400, and she sees little 4s in the room all the time. And there's actually a documentary done on her that shows this phenomenon where she's seeing these 4s. So the 1111 is actually a 4 frequency at the base of what it is. And I think that it is a message to say that we are becoming those conscious creators, and that we need to be aware of that fact, that we are in control of our own destiny and that we create it moment by moment. And so it is kind of like a wink from the universe that says, watch what you're thinking, or whatever you're thinking, you're manifesting right now.
Right, for those were listening, she's got a tattoo with 1111 on. Now, another question: do you actually do readings via birth dates? Is that how you work it out? You do.
Yes. There's several factors. When I do a session for someone, we look at things like their date of birth, also their name, because it's very important. And I usually go into other relationships in their lives. So if there's someone close to them, or there's someone in particular that they have a question about, I usually go into that as well, because to me, I think that one of the reasons why we're all here, one of the most essential reasons, is because of the interaction with other people, and that's how we grow and we learn and evolve as souls. So the relationships we have with other people are critical. I think to understand one another is such a gift, and especially those closest to us, whether it be children, parents, or partners. We really need to know what language they're speaking, where are they coming from, what is their where's their voice coming from. And if you think of the classic nagging wife and the tuned out husband who doesn't yet, he says yes dear, or really doesn't listen, these classic situations are more like misunderstandings, because one is a very mental-based person. So the nagging wife would be way up in her mind all the time, thinking and analyzing, whereas the tuned-out husband, the one that doesn't seem to listen, is probably very physical-based. And it's not that he's tuning her out, so to speak, it's that he doesn't understand where she's coming from or what language she's speaking, really. And so there's a lot of frustration and a lot of misunderstandings. And to me, most of the relationship challenges I see are merely misunderstandings. And to be able to understand each other is such a gift, and it really eases relationship turmoil and challenges so very much.
Now, when I was my husband worked mine out, and my name came up to 11.
Oh,
and
yes.
the birth date came up to 8. So I don't know what you think about that. And he's came up to 8 for his name and 5 for his birthday.
Okay, so the eights are great. One of the things I'm seeing with the eights right now, and that's the whole, the double eights thing I was talking about, and the fact that little girl with schizophrenia also has double eights. There's a strong connection right now with the eights, and some of the eights being called to their post, so to speak. So there's a lot of the master numbers, like the guiding energies, the 10, the 11, the 22, and the 33, but also life paths like the 8 are really being called to do something great, to share more wisdom and knowledge with other people. They're just feeling that little tug on their shoulder that says, there's something else, there's something bigger, there's something broader I need to be doing. And one of the phenomenon with the 8 as well is that the word God adds to the number 8. And I'm not particularly religious in the traditional sense, but even in the metaphysical, the word God is something that always struck a chord with a lot of people. It's just one of those words that seems to have energetic influence. And the word God broken down really shows us why we're all here regardless of path or purpose. So it shows us our global purpose as humans. And it actually adds to 17, and then 1 plus 7 is 8. So the 1, the 7, and the 8 show us what the frequency of the word God is. And 1 is the verbal expression number, 7 is the truth seeker, and 8 is the number of wisdom. And so we are here to verbally express the truths of the divine for the purpose of spreading wisdom and knowledge for soul's growth. So 8s are the knowledge bearers. They're the ones that have wisdom to share with other people. And they just seem to be the kind of people that channel information. They just know things. They're knowers. And they usually know what to say, when to say it, and how to say it. They're usually very business savvy people. They are just, in essence, the knowledge bearers. They're the ones that really have this energy that attracts other people to them because they instinctually or intuitively know that you have the answers for them, or you have some sort of knowledge or information to share with them. And then having an 11 name, for example, you said 11, right? Was the name? Yeah. Okay, so having 11 as your name, this is how other people are going to sense your energy initially. So when they meet you, they're going to say, oh, well, she's got something deeper, something much much deeper than something superficial to share with me, because 11 is the highest spiritual number. It's the spiritual guide. So again, having that 8 combined with the 11, it's like a double whammy, really, in terms of people feeling the sense that you have deeper knowledge or deeper information to share with them.
Right, okay. The next question is, in general, what terms is the best number?
I don't think there's really a better number than another number. I think, and I always stress this to people, because some people will come for a session and they'll have one of the master numbers. And the master numbers aren't necessarily better than the other life paths, but they do have a broader, more far-reaching purpose. So when they do have a master number, for example, for their life path, they usually have a purpose that affects the masses. That's bigger, broader, more global. It doesn't mean that they're more important than, say, a 5 or a 3, but they do tend to have something that's far-reaching. So whether you're a stay-at-home mom or you're the president of the United States or something, it doesn't mean that you're more important than someone else. So to me, every number is significant, and every person's path is a piece of the puzzle.
Right, and is 13 really a bad number, or is it just 4?
I love 13, and I never see it as something that's unlucky. I actually did a media interview about a year ago for Friday the 13th on CTV, and that was really the focus. Is it an unlucky number? And no, it isn't. Definitely. 12 is a whole and complete number, and then if you go one step further into 13, it really adds to 4, which is the most solid, stable foundation number. So the main essence of a 13 symbolizes foundation and the square with its 4 sides. So it really is one of those energies that isn't unlucky at all. It's actually very stable and very centered on building your empire, so to speak.
Okay. Now, in your biography, please excuse the feedback, you actually have got a client base including the Twilight vampires and the Big Bang Theory actress, Pirates of the Caribbean. You've got quite a good clientele there, haven't you? But you're also an inspirational speaker, an author as well, and a radio TV host.
Yes.
So can you tell us more about them, please?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm jack of all trades, right? So yeah, I definitely picked up, I was fortunate to be able to get the celebrity clients that I have gotten, which, has really helped me with my work. It's helped me build my platform, and with the publishing, it's really helped a lot. And I know in mainstream publishing, it's sometimes easier to publish a book based on your platform than it is on the actual book. And so I've been very fortunate to be able to build my platform to a place where publishers were looking at my work, and I was able to publish 2 books in 1 year, which I don't recommend to people to write 2 books in 1 year, but it happened that way because I actually wrote the first book and it was picked up by a publisher, and then I got an agent, a literary agent, who wanted me to get the second book done ASAP because she had another publisher for me. So it's really been, like I say, since that moment where I really started living my truth, it's been a snowball effect, and I haven't had to try. These things have just fallen into my lap. So all of these celebrity clients were, just something that came to me very easily. I ended up meeting someone here in LA who was a PR agent, and she connected me to my first celebrity client, and after that it just seemed to fall into place. So I kept accumulating different clients in the celebrity category. And then the radio stuff, that was really born out of the spiritual crisis. One of the things that kept coming to me during that crisis period, when I stripped myself of all my titles, was the word authentic. And I just kept thinking, I need to be authentic. I need to feel like I'm authentic. Because it was a common theme throughout even my corporate days. I was in corporate working for a major bank in HR, and I was always called Tell It Like It Is Michelle, because I was always calling the elephant in the room and saying, listen, let's cut to the chase here. Let's not dance around the truth. So it was really essentially, that's how it was born, because I'm really big on truth. I'm really big on revealing truth and speaking truth and living truth. And so the Authentic You Media Network was born from that, and I ended up starting Authentic You Radio and Authentic You TV, doing some filming for that, and we're looking at doing some vlogging, having people come on to do some vlogging for us, and doing some little short reality shows and things like that in 2014. And right now we have about 18 hosts on the network for the radio side of things, and it centers around authenticity. So all of the people on our network, their purpose or their mission or their message has to center around being authentic in some way. And I've been very fortunate with that network as well to just attract the right people. I haven't had to try. It seems that every host or every person that comes to me is like another piece of the puzzle, and they become part of the Authentic You Media family. Really, it's been a real pleasure and a real uh, just easy. When you're living your truth, life becomes easy, and I think that's what's happened to me over the past few years, is that my life has become so free flowing, and I'm in the flow of synchronicity. Really, that's the way I can describe it.
Yeah. If anyone wants to listen to your radio shows, where would they find them?
The radio shows, you can go to AuthenticURadio.com, and we're actually broadcast on Blog Talk Radio. We're a featured host, so we're in the top 500 shows at any given time. We usually have a listenership of around 1,000 to 4,000 people per show, and it's a really great channel. There's a lot of variety. We have things like the Angel Connection Show, all kinds of fun stuff on the network, so you can check it.
Right, and going back to numerology, how can people learn about it?
Well, first of all, you can get my book, which is Soul Numbers.
Mm-hmm.
That's available on Amazon or Barnes & Noble, all of the major bookstores, on my publisher's website as well. Definitely, you can get that, but also, I offer courses and classes and things like that. But some of the books I love, there's a couple books that I love as well, and I always recommend them. I mean, it's not about my book and, that kind of thing. And there have been a few that have been almost like my Bible since I began the numbers journey. And one of them is called The Complete Book of Numerology, and I think that's by David A. Phillips. And the other one isn't necessarily a numerology book, but it's phenomenal, and it's called The Life You Were Born to Live, and it's by Dan Millman. And it's actually, you wouldn't think it was a numerology book, but it actually is. And it does go in depth with the number patterns that are unreduced. So when I was talking in the beginning, the fact that 5 might be a 32 before it reduces down to a 5. So it's a really great book that goes really in depth with a lot of the number patterns, and it's been the basis of some of my work, even going forward with some of the things that I've discovered, and it's been like my jumping off point for sure for a lot of things.
Right, well, thanks for talking to us, Michelle. I'm sorry about the feedback and everything.
It sounds great. On my end, it's perfect.
But as I say, it's been great talking to you and finding out a bit more about numerology and everything. And hopefully we can get you back on the show again at a later date.
Yeah, that'd be great. I would love to come back and chat with you for sure. And if anyone wants to get in touch with me, I'm always on Facebook or Twitter. My website is michellearbeau.com if you'd like to send me an email or get in touch with me. Okay,
that would be great. Well, thanks very much. I'll put the website on the chat room for everybody. And thanks again for your time, Michelle. It's been really nice speaking to you.
You too. Thank you so much.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, that was Michelle. Sorry about the sound quality there. I don't know what it was, but I think it was down to Skype affecting things. The little symbol it has there for the connection wasn't very good, unfortunately.
No, but they were seeing feedback from you.
Yeah, I can't understand it. It's gone now, isn't it? That's the thing. It's stupid. So, but I'm terribly sorry about that. But as I say, she is a celebrity numerologist, and I'll put the website on for you. So if you do want to go and pop over to her website and see more about her, then why not? And as she said, she will come back on the show again, which will be good, and hopefully the connection will be better. as I say, I apologise for any interference that you may have got during that conversation. Well, what we're going to do now is we're going to go into the paranormal events, and this is it. Fed up of wading. She says, try again. Fed up of wading through the activities and events that other advertisers include? Find just what you're looking for at paranormaleventsforyou.com, your one-stop paranormal directory. Yeah, and don't forget that you can join in with Tony Stockwell for his evening of mediumship. He's still on tour over a few weeks, and you can see him in Derby and Oxfordshire and many other places. Just go to tonystockwell.com and click events. Also, another well-known medium, Derek Akora, is on his 2014 Enlightenment Tour, and you can find out more about where he's appearing at derekakora.com. On the 31st of January, you've got Molly O'Grady's in Leicester, and on the 1st, there's an overnight ghost hunt. I'm assuming they're doing it on both nights. That's with paranormaluk.co.uk. And also with those guys, they've got various psychic suppers at Molly O'Grady's, so you can find out more on their website as well. On the 7th of September, Markham Castle with compassparanormal.co.uk, and they're also going to Charlton House in London on the 8th of Feb. And on the 15th of Feb, there is Victoria House in Bridlington with fromtheotherside.org.uk. Plus yours truly, UK Shadow Seekers, are off to the Museum of Transport on the 15th of February. So you can find out more at paranormalevents.com. So check out the one-stop paranormal directory for more investigations and events available now. Paranormaleventsforyou.com also offers banner advertising for only £10 per year. See our website for more details. Paranormaleventsforyou.com, your one-stop paranormal directory. Yeah, well, that's the events that's coming up in the next couple of weeks, and we'll have more for you next week, where we will tell you to the end of February. So, what do you think to numerology? Have you been working it out?
John's asked me to work his out.
Has he?
Yes.
So, as I say, there's quite a few places on the website where you can actually find out more about numerology and how to work it out. If you just Google numerology, there are various places that do it online, and you can probably find out what you are and what it's all about. So, so why don't you check it out? Just Google numerology. Some of them do free readings as well. You just enter your name and your date, and you can find out a bit more. And as Maria said, if you go to her website, you can find out about a book and learn from there if you want. So I must admit, it's something that I've always been interested in ever since I read it in The Devil and All Its Works, and by Dennis Wheatley.
Job done.
Job done. And and it's
John's a 3 and a 9.
Is he? So, but as I say, it's it is quite an interesting thing. So, you can there is one where you can do your own.
Yeah, I did that on there, and I seem to get different numbers for some reason.
So what is his let me see whether I can find anything here, just out of curiosity while we're looking. I'll have a look, see whether there's a make-up one here somewhere. One that does numerology readings.
I put one up there that actually works it all out for you, but as I said, the numbers do seem to be different.
Yeah, I must admit they do work out differently, don't they? So but let's see. Let's have a look.
I give me numbers. He goes, "Well, is that good or bad?" 3 and 9 are good numbers.
So, but I can't really find anything.
Don't ask me what they actually mean, but they are good numbers.
So, but normally when you look at things like you can get your your
Go on,
horoscope. That's the word I'm
horoscope.
looking for. You can normally find them online, but for some reason I can't seem to find anything. Put my finger to it. But
And Andy, if you're wondering why I called you Nero when you said you were 666,
yeah,
666 is the number of the beast, and according to numerology, that works out at Nero Caesar.
yes. So
it's worked out from the Jewish word though, and
yeah, tell the story.
Go
on.
The story.
This.
I'm one of those people that hates being preached to on the doorstep. And we had some Jehovah's Witness ladies come round. Very nice, very polite. And they went with their thing, and all of a sudden I went, do you know the Antichrist has already been and gone? And they looked at me weird. And I quoted that 666 is the number of the beast, which they agreed to. And I told them that the number works out at Nero Caesar, so the Antichrist has already been and gone. And and just as I told them that, a wind got up, and we were living in a caravan at the time, and the door slammed on them, slammed into them, and they suddenly went, "I think somebody wants us to go." And I never saw hide or hair of any of them again.
Well, look, I found a website, astrology.com, about numerology's life path.
Andy reckons that the beast number is 616.
Right, and it says here that number 8, which I am, it says, I am gifted with natural leadership and the capacity to accumulate great wealth. I don't know where. Your path will lead you to work out the differences between money and the true value of life.
It says you have the capacity. It doesn't say you're going to do it.
You have great talent for management. I'll go with that, yeah. And you understand the material world. You intuitively know what makes virtually any enterprise work, and you always look at the greater vision. You are born to be in charge and be a visionary. Power and authority comes naturally to you, although you will also learn that it is lonely at the top. You will be successful in any field where you can be the executive decision maker, especially in business and finance. There's many others there as well. Tells you more about discover the inner you, the life number, etc., etc. So but yeah. So there's one thing, and what was it we were saying? That 11 was my name number. Is that what you said, Steve?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, according to this, my name number. When it comes up, it says my life path. Oh, it's saying my life now. That's not what I want. That's life path number again. So that one don't seem to be on there actually. So I can't tell you that one, but that does tell you about life numbers. So and what did you say John was a 9?
His birth number is 9, yeah.
His birth number's 9. Let's just see what
his life path number.
Let's see what it says about John. You are a humanitarian, deeply concerned about the state of the world. You are an idealist, a dreamer, a healer with great compassion. Your path will lead you to understand the interconnectedness of all things. Your healing may take the form of writing, composing, painting, or even teaching. You are an educator, always acting for the benefit of others and looking for solutions from the inspiration, intuitive, and creative worlds. One of the major lessons of this number is to learn to give of oneself as much as possible without thought of reward or return. As you can well imagine, this is a difficult lesson to put into practice. Much of your effort may be spent in learning to balance others' needs and ambitions, however large or small, against your inborn desire to contribute to those in need. There you go, John.
Well, John says spot on, and from what I know of John, I would say at least half of that's true.
Yeah, definitely. So, but as I say, if you want to go and have a look on there yourself, I know it's a bit loosely, but that's at astrology.com. So, you never know. What's the link, Sue? I'll give you the link. Yeah. So let me just take that back. So in case anybody else wants to have a bit of fun there. Okay. There you go. That's just one, but you can always look at others.
Yeah, I couldn't actually find the one I first found and got your name number. It didn't come up, but that was quite interesting.
Was it?
Yeah.
So, but as I say, I'm sure they're around there somewhere if you Google enough. But it's a bit of fun, isn't it, when it's online? But sometimes, mind you, I suppose it's like anything. It's like horoscopes. And Andy 707 will probably agree with me that 9 times out of 10, you actually find it fits loosely in some way, shape, or form. When it comes to horoscopes and stuff like that.
It does that way, and I'm with you on that. The problem with horoscopes is the papers is done for the masses.
Yes.
To do a proper horoscope, you have to do a birth chart and everything, and that's a different thing entirely.
Yeah, this is it.
They got it's geared precisely to you and on where the planets and everything were on the day you were born, and works from there, which is not so easy to do. We did it once, didn't we?
Yeah, you have to work out. If you don't know when you was born, it's it can be a bit.
You do actually need to know the time of day, don't you?
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a specific hour, but it needs to be know in which sector of the day.
And then you've got to work out what planets you align with, and all this, that, and the other. It can be quite a painstaking configuration, and the house. There's the house that you were born houses, in, and all this, that, and the other. But as I say, it's.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we just did the numbers there, and obviously, as I said, that John's a 9 and a 3. I think mine was 8 and 5. Yours is 11 and 8.
8, yeah. The life path was 8.
But that's fine. But you need somebody like our guest tonight that knows how to read that properly. Yeah,
this is it.
It's all right doing what you got on there, which happened to fit John, but that's a generalisation. Because like Michelle said, there's other numbers that go in with that.
Yeah, this is it. So
I mean, if you hit that link I put on further up, that actually tells you about like 32.5 and the extra things on it. But then again, that's still on in the computer.
He was born at 11:30. Said on a Thursday. I know I was born on. I think I was born on a Saturday or a Sunday. I can't remember now.
I was a Saturday, but I don't know what time.
If you were a Saturday, I was a Sunday. I know it's one of the two. But time-wise, I don't know.
Even my mother don't know what time. She knows it.
She was too busy screaming.
Yeah, she knows it as early in the morning, but that's it.
Yeah, I was probably early in the morning as well. No, my luck. But all this sort of stuff is all it's what you believe in and everything. So but as I say, it can all be good fun, and sometimes it's the same with Chinese horoscopes. I'm a dragon. Don't say nothing.
Nah. Yeah, but you're not just a dragon.
Yeah, I know. Because
you're a dragon in the field.
Yes, you can have dragon, and you're a rat on the beam. So, it all depends on which area you where you actually, what's the name? You looked on your birth certificate. My birth certificate don't say what time I was born.
Nor does mine.
No. You lucky person, you.
Mind you, he might have a full one, and I haven't. I've only got a small one. So
I've got a full one,
well,
but it doesn't say what time.
I don't know. I've only got a small one of mine, so it doesn't give a lot of details.
But even on Stephen's one, it doesn't say what time. It's snodge on the mic.
I did just bash myself in the nose with a microphone.
Well, we're going to be going away tomorrow. For a couple of days. We will be back for next week.
We will be back for next week.
So, and just to remind you that on next week's show, we have the Mars Codex, so we'll be finding a little bit more about that and about the book and the DVD.
Yeah, I got to dig into that when I get back.
So, and then the week after that, we have medium Ryan Goodin, who's going to be doing a couple of readings as well, so that should be fun. So hopefully you'll join us for that. And yes.
We're off on the tour, Andy. We're going to Peterborough first, and then Kent, and then back here.
Yeah.
and then back to Peterborough and back here again.
Yes, on the 10th I've got to go and look at a new venue as well. So in the Nottingham area. So that should be quite interesting. And and apparently it's got dungeons. Oh,
Yes,
good evening,
busy
Doc
there.
Savage. You crept in there well, didn't you?
He was there towards the end there.
Was he?
And someone at Blarney, I can give you a bit more, Andy. I actually read an article that was posted on Facebook the other day that says that the Americans all have already built a base on Mars and are starting to move people out there.
Oh yeah,
secretly a bit of moon base alpha, but on Mars.
Well, we'll find out more about that next week. Can't make next week, but we'll be back the week after for Ryan. Thank you, Deb. That's fine, no problem. But as I say, we've got Barry John on next week as well.
Yes.
So we'll find out more about him.
Find a bit more about him.
And so it should be good. What utter rubbish. Will you be in the chat room, Andy, to talk about this?
Yes. Mind you, some of the things we've actually read about the guys that are talking about this, they have actually said that it's not a finger or a rat. It's a rock that looks like a finger or a rat.
Yes. So they have actually.
So they're not saying there's actual creatures up there.
What do you think? He said. You're going to have to contact me, Andy, and let me know when you can come on the show and what we're going to talk about. Okay, so what did you think about the numerology, Andy? What was your opinion of it? There wasn't many questions though in the chat room.
There wasn't. Basically, we had one from John and one from Debs, and
that
was it.
But he's passing on that
one.
Well, I'm afraid we're going to call it a night because I've got to get this show live, and then
tomorrow.
I didn't see them, Andy. He said he asked a few, but nobody asked them. I didn't see any.
I missed them as well.
Sorry, I missed them.
I do apologise.
I did ask how it works. I did ask that one.
Yeah, I answered it.
Oh, did you answer it?
I answered. I had to work it out and that, but I couldn't help him after that.
So, well, I did ask how it worked, and you did answer him how it works after that. So, but anyway.
Yes, as you say, we've got a busy day tomorrow. You have so you got to put the show on. You got doctors, then we go and get the car, and then off on our journey.
Yes. So I've got to go and see my friend on Wednesday, and who I haven't seen for ages, and
yep,
and
your aunt
down in Chatham. So not far away from you, Andy.
Got a lot of driving.
Just across the River Medway. All adds up in the end. So definitely a lot of driving. You showed me the site, but I wanted to know what the science theory behind it was. What numerology? I'm not sure. Let me just find that website that I was looking at the other day. I don't know whether this will tell you about it, but you're more than welcome to have a look. It's I've lost it now. Where are you? 2 seconds.
Yeah,
there you are.
Yeah,
right.
We'll be. We won't be hitting Kent till Wednesday.
The Power of Numbers Academy.com. A brief history of numerology. If you wonder how it started, I don't know whether your questions were answered there. But maybe you'll find that out on her website. So. Okay, so have a look at her website, see if she's got some answers there. And like she said, you can always contact her.
Yes,
and she'll answer some questions.
Answers that question. I think it is. I think Nostradamus did actually use it as well.
It has gone back to quite a few years, I must admit. So there is, as I said before, that
I was listening to an interview she did. On an American television when the last election over there, and she was saying that Mitt Romney was a 9 and it is money orientated and stuff like that, but the Obamas, both Barack and Michelle, are both 11s.
Oh, right.
So they're 11-11.
Oh, okay.
Which are not particularly interested in money. Money's not the big thing.
I see. I'm expecting a remark to come back from a certain Minnesota young man. So, but this is the thing. There's so many different versions on how to do it.
No, 11 is a master number.
So
it wouldn't make 2. I
Don't
think it's
have
11,
nightmares
11,
on
22 and 33, I think, are master numbers.
right. Well, don't forget, if you are out in this weather, please remember to drive safely. Be safe, because apparently it is going to get worse before it gets better. And we will see you next week, hopefully.
Yes.
You know, and until then, please remember, keep the paranormal friendly.
Yep, keep it friendly, everybody. Good night, everybody. And like Sue said, make sure you're careful out there on the roads. Snow is forecast, and we want nobody getting injured.
Yeah. See you all next week.
Good night, everyone.
This is where it's at.
To see in the night, to measure the spike, to see how cold it's been. I buy my kit so I won't forget the ghosties that I have seen. The Paranormal Intelligence Gathering Services Ghost Store. So visit www.the-pigs.co.uk/ghost store.